Hey everyone, this is Riddle Hakaraja Raven. I'm here with my recap and review of Pokemon Journeys, the anime, episode number 138. And currently, the anime is giving us a bunch of Ash-centric episodes to give him an actual proper farewell. And even though these bunch of episodes are basically its own entire thing, they are still being considered as part of Pokemon Journeys, the anime series. And ever since we got to know more information through the promos, I have been looking forward to watching these episodes because Brock is coming back, Misty is coming back, and hey, I grew up watching Brock, Misty, and Ash. They are the original trio, and my favorite character from the Pokemon series is Misty. Say, do with that information what you want, and I want to be a water Pokemon trainer. So coming to the episode itself, it opens up with Ash. He's on his own little journey. Basically, he doesn't necessarily know because he is a world-class champion now. So he's still trying to figure out what he wants to do. But he's like, hey, while I figured stuff out, might as well go on a journey again, right? And it's nice to see that Ash will be using more of his reserve Pokemon, and this time he ends up using Corphish, Totodile, Rowlet's there, and another Pokemon which I can't remember the name of. Anyway, they're by the seaside, and of course Corphish is very, very excited. He hasn't been to sea in a very long time, so he's swimming around, and Pikachu is like walking around too. I don't think Pikachu is exactly swimming, right? I think he's on one of these little rocks. So yeah, he gets up on there, he notices something in the water, he puts his tail in the water as bait in order to lure whatever it is inside the water out, and I'm like, Pikachu, that's dangerous. And yeah, we get to see Clauncher bite Pikachu's tail, and Pikachu is like, what the heck? And Pikachu jumps and it brings Clauncher up in the air, and yeah, it's a Clauncher, and Ash is excited, and Corphish is very excited. I think Corphish wants to fight a Clauncher because they are like crustacean type Pokemon, right? But no, Clauncher ends up proving itself to be very, very strong, and of course Ash is like, yep, that's a strong Clauncher, I'm gonna catch it. And before Ash can catch it, this is where we get to see Misty's lure, and she stops Ash, and yeah, Misty is back, and she's better than ever. We get a sweet little reunion between Ash, Misty, and Pikachu, and I really like the scene where Psyduck sees Pikachu running towards them, and Psyduck opens his arms in order to get a hug from Pikachu, but Pikachu jumps over Psyduck and hugs Misty, and I'm like, aww. And there's also this scene where this bug Pokemon ends up like patting Psyduck on the head to being like, there. Of course, Misty congratulates Ash on being a champion, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, even though Misty and Ash banter, they are still very, very close friends, and they are proud of each other's achievements. And this is where Misty tells Ash that ever since she watched him on TV, she just couldn't sit still, and she decided to go on a journey herself. And the Cerulean Gym is being run by her three sisters right now. So it turns out that Misty has been meaning to catch that Clauncher for a while now, because she ended up luring it out like some days ago, I guess, and ever since she has been able to lure it out, and then she is like, hey Ash, it's me and Clauncher, we are tied by a string of fate, and I just have to catch it, I just have to. And Ash is like, yeah, sure. And then Ash is like, but you know what, Misty, I'm gonna catch Clauncher because I can feel that my Corphish and Clauncher have formed this bond, and I'm going to catch this Clauncher for my Corphish. And Misty is like, yeah, sure, a bond. They both decide that they should go fishing, and whoever is able to catch the Clauncher via fishing, they will get first dibs at fighting with them, and if they fail to catch it, then the other person will come in. And Ash is like, okay, and this is where Ash takes out his silent lure, and Misty is like, what? Where the heck did you get that from? And Ash is like, well, a companion, a friend I was traveling with gave it to me. And Misty is like, well, I gave you a lure too. What happened to that? Of course, fishing takes patience, and even though Ash is very excited, Ash doesn't necessarily have it in him to actually fish for water Pokemon. And of course, he grows impatient, and his Pokemon also they grow tired, and a bunch of his Pokemon are already asleep. And Misty is like, of course, that's what I expected from you, Ash. You have to be very patient when you're trying to catch a water Pokemon, and just see. Clauncher will choose me because even Clauncher knows that he and I are bonded. While Misty and Ash are waiting for Clauncher to bite fight one of their lures, we get to see Team Rocket. They are in their Magikarp submarine, and yeah, they are very, very hungry. And I was very surprised that writers decided to take this hunger route with Team Rocket, and they're like, hey, we are hungry, even though we are supposed to be catching Pikachu, we can't do that on an empty stomach, so find us some food. And this is where Meowth ends up noticing the Clauncher that Misty and Ash are trying to catch, and the Pokédex comes in, and the Pokédex tells them that, you know what, the giant claw on Clauncher, it's actually a delicacy, and don't worry about it. Once you eat the claw, it will grow back again. And Team Rocket is like, yep, we need to eat that claw. And I'm like, okay, that turned dark. We know that people in the Pokemon world, they do eat Pokemon, but it's a very different feeling seeing that actually being portrayed in the anime series. Even though Clauncher selects Misty's lure, he is not going to go down this easily, and he pulls Misty into the water, and of course Ash laughs. And there was this scene while Misty was trying to lure Clauncher in. Misty was like, hey Clauncher, I'll take care of you. I'll take better care of you than Ash, the battle freak. And seeing Misty call Ash the battle freak, that made me laugh. Then Clauncher decides to grab onto Ash's lure, and yeah, the same thing happens. He makes Ash fall into the water too, and of course Misty, the expression on Misty's face during this scene, there were a lot of comedic moments in this episode, which I really, really liked. And that's another thing I like about Ash and Misty's banter. Like, they do banter, and that's the type of banter that you just can't replicate with other female companions that Ash has had. Garfish and Clauncher are basically trying to talk to each other, and Misty like, what the heck are they talking about? And this is where Ash is like, I understand. Clauncher actually wants us two to battle, and whoever ends up winning the battle, they'll get first dibs to catch Clauncher. And Misty is like, okay, is that really happening, Clauncher? And Clauncher is like, yup. And before they can start battling, this is where Team Rocket comes in and they catch Clauncher, and we get this very weirdly sung Team Rocket introduction because they're hungry and they aren't their energetic selves. And then we also get this funny scene between Team Rocket and Misty is like, hey, let Clauncher go. And Jessie is like, why the heck should we let Clauncher go? It's not as if it's your Pokemon. Which, I mean, Jessie had a point. And then Team Rocket is like, hey, don't worry about it. We're just going to eat the claw, and once we are done, you can take Clauncher back, and don't worry about it. The claw will regrow. And Misty is like, what the heck? Before Team Rocket can run away with Clauncher, this is where Corphish comes in and he frees Clauncher, and then Clauncher and Corphish then team up with their claw hammers in order to send Team Rocket away. And as Team Rocket is flying off, they're like, hey, you know what? There are other Claunchers in the sea, so might as well go and capture something else for food. So with Team Rocket out of the way, this is where it's time for Misty and Ash to battle, and Misty sends out her Politoed, and of course Ash is like, you know what, handling water types, I need to go with an electric type, right? And Pikachu gets onto the stage ready to fight, and this is where Ash is like, but nah, Corphish, you go. And Pikachu is like, what the heck? But yeah, I mean, in a sense, if Pikachu was facing against Politoed, then of course Ash would have won. But anyway, it's like water Pokemon versus water Pokemon, so it's going to give us an interesting battle. So it's Corphish versus Politoed, and Pikachu decides to be the referee. And before Corphish can fight, Misty and Ash notice that Clauncher and Corphish have this relationship, I guess. And Misty's like, what the heck? And Ash is like, I understand. These two are men. They have a relationship of fists. And I'm like, yep, sure, Ash, sure. So the fight begins, and yeah, Corphish is a very, very fast Pokemon, but Politoed is able to keep up with Corphish, and there's this scene where Politoed goes in, I guess, with a Hydro Pump, and then Corphish uses Aqua Jet to basically ride around the Hydro Pump and hit Politoed, and it seems like Politoed is going to go down. However, as Corphish is coming in with a Claw Hammer, Politoed basically grabs it, and I'm like, yep, Politoed is a strong Pokemon because it's a fully evolved Pokemon versus a base Pokemon. Now, I get that in the Pokemon anime series, evolutions don't necessarily mean anything, but I guess, I mean, a base Pokemon going up against a fully evolved Pokemon who has also been training itself at the gym, because Misty did say that right now Politoed is being considered as the guardian deity of the Cerulean Gym, so that means that it has had its share of battle experience. And Corphish, I mean, with Ash aware, Corphish's experience, I guess, lacks when compared to Politoed. So Politoed wins with a Mega Punch. And yeah, Carfish is down, and of course Misty is excited because she'll get to catch Clauncher now. And yeah, this is Ash's first defeat after becoming a world champion. And again, no one is taking away the world championship title away from Ash. It's just a battle. It's just a single battle. It's not even like an official battle. But in my opinion, I really wanted Misty to win because, again, in my opinion, as with other shows like Avatar, The Last Airbender, Boruto, Bleach, etc., yes, the main character is supposed to be the most powerful one. However, the main character's supporting cast needs love too. So in a way, even though Ash is a very, very experienced, powerful Pokemon master, when it comes to water-only Pokemon battles, I think that Misty should always have an edge compared to Ash. Even though Misty is able to catch Clauncher, Clauncher has something else on its mind, so it ends up getting out of the Pokeball by itself, like similar to Psyduck, and it looks like that Clauncher wants to teach Carfish certain moves in order to make it stronger because it appreciates the drive that Carfish has. And Ash is like, hey everyone, let's get into it. Let's train with Clauncher. And Misty is just looking at everything and she's like, what the heck is happening? Even though I'm the one who caught Clauncher. And while that's happening, we also get the scene where Latias from the previous episode, it's still following Ash. And I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of these episodes centering on Ash ends up catching Latias. That might happen, we don't know. And the episode ends with Ash and Pikachu continuing on their journey, and they notice that Misty has been following them, and Ash is like, hey Misty, I know you're back there, coming out. And Misty is like, hey, I was just wondering that because I'm on a journey too, and Clauncher and Carfish have struck a friendship, I didn't want to keep them away for too long, so might as well basically she's like, Ash, can I join you? And Ash ends up being a bit sassy with Misty. Again, the dynamic that these two have, the banter, the sassiness, the shade, you can't really replicate it with other characters. And Ash is like, well, I don't know, Misty, because he wants Misty to actually say that she wants to accompany him on the journey. And of course, Misty isn't going to say that. And Pikachu is like, hey, don't be like that. Of course, Misty can come with us. And yeah, the episode ends with Misty and Ash and Pikachu continuing on their journey. And in the next episode, we're going to get Brock, and Brock is going to continue with them again. So we're going to have our original trio back for these bunch of episodes. And I guess Brock and Misty will get to meet other companions because in the next episode, Silent is coming back. And I just can't wait for Serena to come back. I really want to see if the writers will continue with the romance that the romance, or basically a crush at this point, the crush and the tension between Ash and Serena. I want to see where that goes before we say goodbye to Ash. But yeah, if I end up doing a written review just for the Geeky, the link to my review down in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought of the episode. Again, as someone who grew up with this original trio watching Pokemon, I loved this episode. I really did. And of course, I'm looking forward to seeing Brock return too. But yeah, until next time, stay happy, stay safe, stay blessed. See you guys later.